We live?
Yes, sir. All right. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome to the episode 6 of the AM CMSV show. I'm Matt Pingus. I got my co-host Adam Krieger over here.
What's up? What's up?
So I hope everybody had a good week. Personally, I had all right week. Some lacrosse games, so it was always fun. Some huge Rangers wins over this week. Gonna get into that into the Rangers Rant. Adam, how you been this week?
I'm good, man. It feels like this weather this week we were like, today we're in the 60s, but we've been in the 20s. We got some snow going on, and I'm just like, I'm ready. I'm full ready for spring. I think it's 50 days till graduation from today. 50 days to start the countdown. Yeah, it's crazy. It's I'm excited to graduate.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited to love being here. Loved having my time here, but 4 years are up.
Ready to get out.
Time to move on to other things.
Ready to get out. Yeah, I feel that.
Also with the weather, I'm clinging on. I got shorts on today, so
I'm waiting. Once I go shorts, I never go back. So I'm holding out until I know it's not going to snow anymore. It's been crazy up in here.
Yeah, hopefully the weather starts really getting nice. I thought what did the groundhog say a couple weeks ago? Didn't he say early spring?
Dude, I'm out on Groundhog Day. It doesn't matter, bro. Like it's like the most outdated thing in the world. Like it's, we got so much climate change and all those buzzwords. I mean, it's just like at the end of the day, it's like if it's cold, it's cold. If it's not, it's not. But there's nothing a groundhog's gonna tell me. I'd love to actually sit down with someone and talk about that because there's no way that still has any importance or relevance anymore. No shot.
I'm really interested. Who started this? How did this come along?
Probably some guy in the 1400s who wanted to some guy who wants to run for mayor before there was any other way of campaigning. So he was like, all right, I'm gonna have this groundhog decide whether spring or summer starts. The only thing that matters.
Legit.
Only thing that matters is the temperature. If it's cold, we're in winter. I don't even know. Did we have our first official day of spring yet? Who knows? Who cares? Exactly. We're back.
Exactly. So last week we had a great show. A lot of stuff going on in the NFL. MLB finally back.
1 week from today.
Rangers.
1 week from today.
Opening day,
baby.
Oh yeah. I forgot you said that last week.
April 7th.
So who the Mets got?
It's a great question. I don't even know.
Let's see who the Yankees got. April 7th. Oh, okay, nothing.
2022.
Just says opening day. That's great.
Yeah, I don't know. There's also spring training. Let me see. April 7th, they got the Nationals. They're in D.C., so
okay,
kind of weak. Yeah, I mean, listen, we got some new stuff in the studio. We decorated a little bit. We made it ourselves. I guess it's kind of over my head. So we got the Jets jersey, Jamal Adams. I got a little funny story about that. Got the CMSV, my singlet from the 1 year that they had a team that I was here. And, of course, this studio wouldn't be complete without a Rangers jersey, the way we talk about them. So, we made it ours a little bit. Got the CMSV in it, got the New York Sports, kind of got everything you need in it. Bang. Studio decorated.
Yeah, it looks nice. I love that.
Wow, I'm so bald. Holy snakes.
So, let's get straight into it. The Rangers. My God. What a week they had. 2 games against the Penguins, who are, at the time, were right above them in the standings, sitting in the number 2 spot in the Metro. The game on, Friday, came out, huge win, 5-1 over the Penguins at the Garden. That was absolutely electric. Then Sunday, we go to the Sabres. Georgiev in net, coming off that stellar performance against Carolina, has not looked the same since.
Shocking. No way that guy was going to put up his best game of the season against the damn Hurricanes, and then he's going to be garbage after that.
Oh,
shocking.
Awful. Awful. I personally didn't get to watch the game last night. Watched the highlights. 4 Red Wings goals. I could say one of them should have been a goal. Off deflection off our defender, came back to Mark Stahl, threw it to the front. Nice little tip. Goes through the wickets on Georgiev, but the first 2 goals are absolutely horrible shots, just right at his legs, and he just didn't know how to handle them. But, we'll get to that after. Tuesday, another beautiful win over the Penguins, 3-2, this time in Pittsburgh. That was also an electric game. And then, obviously, last night, 5-4 win over the Red Wings in overtime. The Rangers have been, the moves they made at the deadline, these guys are all producing. Andrew Kopp, absurd. What is his name? Frank Vetrano, a little bit earlier than the deadline. We got him. But he's been lighting it up against, I want to say it was the Sabres, where the Penguins came out with 2 goals right in the beginning. Really set the tone for the Rangers. Obviously they started to come back a little bit, but, Georgiev stuff.
Kreider's on fire, huh? You just can't stop scoring goals. It's ridiculous.
And he had a goal last night. At first, they didn't give it to him because they thought Kopp tipped it in on the backside, but it went off Moritz Seider, who's an absurd defenseman. He's going to be great. Well, he's already great now.
It's one of the weirdest things about hockey is that they'll go back and they'll in baseball it happens every now and then. They'll change errors to hits and stuff like that, but they'll just straight up change goals after the game's over in hockey. It's so funny. Or between periods, whenever it is. But yeah, dude, Kreider's on a mission.
He's getting to 50. I can feel it.
The thing about, and I was listening to the Hurricanes on ESPN Plus. That's a different topic. How I feel about that. But Barry I think it's not Melrose. Steve Levy, whoever's doing the play-by-play on ESPN Plus, he was like, the thing is, once you score 50 goals, they expect you to score 50 goals every game. And obviously, 50-goal seasons are incredible, and they're not as frequent as that guy was saying it. But if Kreider only puts up 20 next year, everyone's gonna be disappointed.
Yeah, 100%. But also, coming into this year, no one expected Kreider to just be absurd like he is. That spot, left wing, obviously we have Artemi Panarin. $11.5 million a year. It's not getting dropped from the first 2 lines. We were kind of expecting Kreider to, still play his game, but not have the production that he does. We're hoping Lafreniere would go up in that first line, be with Zibanejad and whoever our right winger is going to be. I honestly don't know. I like Frank Vetrano up there, but, we still have a lot of guys out. Sammy Blais, Capo Caco. So right wingers are going to get shaken around a little bit. But I like the combinations. But Zibanejad and Kreider are just an absolute force together. They both work so hard on the puck. And, they're really, really unselfish. Sometimes it's really horrible. A game, what was it? I think against the Penguins the other day, Kreider's moving in. What a wild 2 minutes it was at the end of the game. I don't know if you saw it. But, the Penguins had their open net. We had at least 3 rushes down the ice with this open net. Didn't score. Kreider looks like he's got a shot, putting in number 45 of the year. Passes it over to Kopp. Kopp's like, open net. Let me pass this to Zibanejad. Guy just misses the net.
I love that. I love when no one shoots. It's like you get the typical fans in the the arena yelling shoot, 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 and everyone normally they're just idiots and they're wrong. But sometimes just you just shoot the puck, you see what happens. The same thing happened in the Hurricanes game. They played the Lightning the other day. It was just everyone's getting a little too fancy. Just put the puck in the net. It's like basketball. Put the ball in the hoop, and you have a good time. And that's just kind of the way it is. You're getting a little fancy. But listen, Kreider's just making waves. It's crazy. I wasn't expecting this. I think he's got 3 goals in the last 2 games, or he hit 2 the other day. Whatever it's going to be. He's going to finish with well over 50, I would say, at this rate. I think they have 13, 14 games left. We're coming down the stretch. And the thing is, the way that with the COVID schedules and everything is that everyone's on back-to-backs. Hurricanes went from D.C. to Tampa. I think that was Tuesday, so Monday, Tuesday. These schedules, they got probably like I said, around 14 games left, and it's not that much. There's maybe 3-4 weeks left. Everything's kind of jam-packed. They had these long breaks in the beginning, and you're gonna see you're going to need your backup goalies to step up. Ranta didn't play great the other day. Obviously, you said Georgiev didn't play great on a back-to-back the second night. But listen, as long as you get the win,
Yeah, that's all that really matters now.
And the same thing, you at least if you can't win, you want to get the point. You want to try and force overtime, and that was kind of what happened the other day for the Canes. But we're coming down to it. We're the final stretch, 50 days to graduation, 14 games till playoffs. It's coming into arguably one of the better times of the year where it's you got a little bit of spring, everyone's hanging out at the beach, you go home, and you watch, some playoff sports, whether it's playoff basketball, playoff hockey, and then of course you get regular season baseball. So obviously it's not as intense as the winter or fall with sports wise, but this part of the year is not too shabby.
Yeah, definitely not too shabby at all. One thing I just wanted to touch on real quick, some new guys coming into the team for the Rangers. One guy that I absolutely love, Ryan Reeves, absolute force on the ice. Was out of the lineup for a couple games, comes back, gets a goal and an assist last night. starting the Rangers off in the first period with a nice, it's a gritty goal, Tries to get it across, puck comes right back to him, just swings his stick at it, and gets through Nedeljkovic, I want to say is his name. Used to be a Canes goalie.
On Detroit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a good player, though.
Second year guy. I'll be the first to admit, so last year the Canes got rid of both their goalies, Mrazek and Nedeljkovic. And Brendan Moore's always liked the two goalie thing. Like, obviously everyone carries two goalies, and the goalie plays in the back to back. It's the same thing like catchers, where your knees hurt, so you need a break. But Brendan Moore's always kind of loved that two goalie set, and they got rid of both their goalies from last year, and I definitely thought that was a little bit of a mistake. Nedeljkovic was a rookie. I feel like he had someone you can kind of retain for a long period of time. Mrazek ended up on waivers, and Nedeljkovic is not having the best year in Detroit. So it shows what I am of a hockey GM. I don't know anything. It's just the truth. It's crazy. And Anderson's playing literally lights out. Ranta is the backup. He's, he's okay. He's better than Georgiev, but anyone's better than Georgiev.
Yeah, I think Freddie Anderson's leading the league in, I want to say, goals against average. Shesterkin's got the other two categories, but the Canes are just.
It's their defense, man. I really thought it was about the goalies, and obviously, like, hot goalie can change a game, and a hot goalie can take over a series or a week or a month, and that's kind of a big part of playoff hockey. If your goalie's on fire, But like, the Canes are giving up like less than 25 shots a game. If I had to guess, I don't have the reference in front of me, but it feels like they're always outshooting their opponents. Not really outscoring their opponents as much as I would like, considering, but it's all about the defense. So, and that having a good pairs in front of you.
Yeah, defense wins championships.
Always. Is that how it works in hockey too? You say that applies to hockey as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you look at the last 2 years, the Tampa Bay Lightning. Last year a little bit of a controversy with the long-term IR with Nikita Kucherov. They're $18 million over the cap once the playoff starts because they reactivated Kucherov. But, they bolstered their defense. They had, I want to say Braden Coburn.
Braden Point.
Yeah, Braden Point is absurd for them. But at the deadline, I want to say they acquired 2 or 3 defensemen just to bolster up already. Victor Hedman, probably one of the best defensemen in the league. Mikhail Sergachev, who they got for an absolute steal. Montreal got fleeced on that deal a couple of years ago. But another great defenseman. And then you have the best goalie in the league. I love Igor Shesterkin, but until he can show me for 5 or 6 years that he can play at this level, Andrei Vasilevsky is the most unorthodox but amazing goalie I've ever seen in my life. One save that I absolutely love, you probably saw this, Anze Kopitar moving down the left wing, takes a shot. Vasilevsky reaches behind his back with his glove and catches the puck. Like, just absurd,
Just like freak type stuff.
Just throwing yourself out there. Like, that's half the battle as a goalie. You're trying to get hit by the puck. If you could stop it, with a glove in a convincing way, those are fine too. But as long as you get hit by the puck and it stays out of the net, you're doing your job.
Dude, side note, I know unrelated, and we're going to have your boy Sawyer. He's the goalie, right? Sawyer. Yeah. Lacrosse goalies are the biggest psychopaths in my mind because especially as you're getting older, like you don't wear pads, like you wear sweatpants. That's like you get a little extra protection if you're I don't even know if does that happen in college too. Goalies wear sweatpants in college, or
most goalies. Once it starts getting hot out, I don't see how goalies really can will themselves to wear sweatpants in 90-degree weather. But
yeah, the only advantage they have is they have a bigger head. It's called, right?
Yeah,
like that thing is big, but like. You're a psychopath because, especially like, even in high school, I was like, wow, these guys shoot like hard. Now you can't imagine in college, even in like D3, everyone's the best on their high school team. They come here, everyone's got a hard shot, everyone knows where to locate. Like, respect, and also you're a psychopath. Like, I hope there's not enough painkillers in the world to get me to play goalie in the NHL, goalie in lacrosse. No,
the craziest thing, they wear less padding than everyone else on the field.
Yeah, like. Absolutely no. Like, at least hockey guys, they get like the big helmets, the big leg pads, like, and obviously there's still some spots, like some weaknesses in your equipment. Like, I know the top of your knee is like uncovered if you're in the butt, whatever the position's called, but like, yeah, man, respect to lacrosse goalies. I gotta ask your boy Sawyer how he ended up in goal, like, because normally, like, middle school, I was the fat kid, so I can't say this, but they would just pick like the fat guy, put him in the net, he takes up most of the goal, and then but like. To continue that way, you're a crazy person.
Yeah, definitely interesting. He's the only goalie we got this year. We had our backup is a nursing major, so he took nursing over lacrosse, which is definitely respectable. Kid's gonna come out of college making almost $100,000 a year, being one of the, how do I say that, most caring professions in the world. I would say,
Dude,
being a nurse, doing most of the work in a hospital.
I was talking about this the other day with my friends. This is very unrelated to what we're talking about, but if I could do it all over, I probably would end up being a nurse because the job security, you're getting a job right out of school, you're making a good amount of money, but then on the flip side is you have to do some of the most big time respect to nurses, obviously, because they do so much, they do all the dirty work, and oftentimes they get treated like garbage by doctors and other people, which just sucks because any doctor that treats a nurse like shit is just disgusting because they're doing all the work you don't want to do. But if I could do it all over, I know especially coming here, it's obviously a big nursing school, and I just see how much stress the nursing people are. It's so much work and they have so much stuff to do. But especially for coming now, I'm applying to jobs, trying to get interviews. It's hard to get an interview nowadays. I know whatever, and it's knowing in the back of my head, I could have been a nurse and making make 120 out of college right away.
Solid.
What? Yeah. But then you got to wipe some people's butts, and that's respect to you guys because I don't think I'd be able to do that. So I go back and forth, but yeah. Shout out the nurses. Just quick side note. Shout out the nurses.
Yeah, that's all I got for the Rangers rant. So, what do we got today, Adam?
Yeah, I got a little bit of NFL news. We were talking about decorating the studio and bringing some of our own stuff in, and I was looking. This is the last jersey I have. It's a Jamal Adams jersey. So he was on the Jets for a year. Yeah, there you go. I can change the camera a little bit. He was on the Jets for a few years, and they ended up trading him. But, jerseys are so expensive. They're $140, $150, at least. You're getting a real authentic NFL one. There's this place called AliExpress or DHgate where we all get fake DHgate. That's what you use. I got this jersey from DHgate. I ordered it. And, Jamal Adams, I thought he was going to be around New York for a while. He was a free safety or a strong safety. He hits hard. He's kind of got some character. He's got some swagger. I was I like that. From the time I ordered the jersey, the time it got here, he was already traded and bad-mouthing the Jets on the way out. And that was when I decided I'm never buying another jersey again. It's just especially the fake ones, no, this one's kind of garbage. It's not the real Jets color. The NFL logo is kind of messed up. The stitching's all weird. It's just it's a fake jersey. You get what you pay for it. But I'm never wearing a jersey. If I want to rep, if I'm going to a game, I'll get a hoodie. I'll have a T-shirt on. I'll wear a hat. I don't need to wear any jerseys, especially because everyone, it's a business. Everyone gets traded. Everyone gets moved around. I was thinking this in the car ride down. I would buy one. If I were to buy a jersey, I'm buying a throwback jersey. I'm buying a Keith Hernandez Mets 86 jersey. Those things are fresh. Or I'm buying a David Wright black jersey, something like that. A guy where he's ingrained with your team and you don't have to worry about him getting traded. I'll never forget buying the Jamal Adams jersey, and then literally 2 weeks later he's getting traded, and then 3 weeks later my jersey shows up in bad packaging. It smells like disgustingness because it came literally across the world 4 times. But yeah. All right, I got a few things. It's kind of a slower week, in the sports world. Especially with the last, the way the NFL was going the last few weeks. And, the biggest story was Bruce Arians retired. So, retired, I'm throwing that in air quotes, because he goes from being the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to now he's in the front office. He retired from coaching. But when Brady retired, there was all these rumors and all this foo-foo stuff coming out that Tom Brady and Bruce Arians really hated each other. They didn't get along. Towards the end of the year, they were fighting a lot. They were yelling at each other. They couldn't agree on anything. And then Brady retired. There was some talk that it was all because of Arians. They didn't like each other. They didn't get along. All that stuff.
Bless you.
That's the first time I've ever sneezed on the air. Excuse me, everyone. And then, so obviously, we talked about last week, Brady unretired. Comes back after 60 days. He decides he's back in the NFL. Less than 2 weeks later, or I guess maybe it was 3 weeks. I don't know. It was on Selection Sunday. About 2.5 weeks later, Bruce Arians announces he's leaving, and we find out that it's all true. Obviously we don't know for sure that they hate each other, but the rumors with that Brady wasn't going to come back unless Arians was there, and Arians didn't want to coach Brady yet again. Brady comes back. You're going to choose Bruce Arians, a guy, he was only with the team for a few years. It's who do you pick, Brady or Arians? And the obvious answer is Brady. They gave Arians I would say just a title position, put him in the front office. He's not the GM. He's not, he's probably the director of or the assistant director of player personnel. Doesn't mean anything. The funny thing about that though is that they have two coordinators on the Bucs team, offensive defensive coordinators. It was Todd Bowles and Byron Leftwich. Everyone thought Byron Leftwich was on the fast track to a job. Bruce Arians was saying for the last 2 years that he should have been getting every interview in the world. Todd Bowles was obviously the former coach of the New York Jets, and they gave the job to Todd Bowles. 5-year contract. They locked him up for a little bit. Not that coaching contracts matter, because if you get fired, you get fired. It happens all the time. But I thought that it was crazy they gave the job to Bowles, not Byron, just because. And we've seen what Bowles can do as a head coach. Now, coaching the New York Jets is a lot different than coaching a team with Tom Brady. I knew Bowles was going to get a shot somewhere else. He's a great defensive coordinator. There's a lot of thought in the industry that maybe Bowles is just a great D coordinator, but he's not a great offensive mind, so he's not going to be a great head coach. We're going to see that in effect. But, at this rate, while Brady's still playing, Brady's going to be the guy that basically runs the offense. Byron Leftwich is still there. Apparently him and Brady are very close. So we'll see how that shakes out. I just think that, everyone talked about how Brady and Belichick hate each other, the last year or two in New England, and that was a big source of conflict. They lasted, 19 years together, 20 years together almost. Now, Bruce Arians and Brady only can last 2. That's a little. Something to keep in the back of your head. I'm happy for Bowles though to get another coaching job, just because, being the coach of the Jets is not a fair representation of who you are as a coach. So we'll just go with that. And then last thing is like I said, opening day is a week from today. Jacob deGrom is the New York Mets opening day starter. That was no question about it. Jacob deGrom is the best pitcher in baseball, has been for the last probably 4 or 5 years now, absolutely dominating, lights out. He's only going to pitch 5 or 6 innings because he's still warming up because we had the abbreviated spring. But MLB and Apple TV signed a new deal where they get to broadcast nationally televised games. The New York Mets' second game, where Max Scherzer, the second best pitcher in baseball, is pitching for the Mets. His first start as a Met. They took that off SNY and they put it on Apple TV Plus. Now, if you don't have an Apple TV Plus subscription, you can't watch the game. And I'm going to lose my mind. I'm already knee deep in Reddit trying to find streams to get me ready. Side note, Reddit scares the living daylights out of me. It's like the one social media platform or website I don't understand. I feel like it's so hard to find stuff. I just use Google. That's how I'm watching all the Hurricanes games, NHL Reddit streams, and then clicking in and all that stuff. But I'm just so. I've talked about this before with the Hurricanes being on ESPN Plus. I've talked about it with countless other things. I am just so sick of paywalls, especially in local markets. I
agree.
It's just garbage. We pay for. We're in New York. We pay for cable. Give us the Mets games. Why are you putting it on Apple TV? We're not going to get the, Gary, Keith, and Ron, Gary, Cohen, Ron Darling, Keith Hernandez are the best announcers in baseball, no doubt about it. Ronnie gets some shit for doing the national games in the playoffs. Everyone hates him from the national standpoint, but that's just because everyone hates the guy that's not on their team. But yeah, I'm sick of paywall and stuff, man. It's just so frustrating. I just want to watch the Mets, and of course I had to pick this game too. You pick a throwaway game in July, I'm still going to get upset about it. I'm still going to be pissed that I can't watch it on SNY, but it is what it is. To pick the second game of the year for the Mets, the first time their like most expensive pitcher in baseball is pitching for the team. Like I'm sick of it, man. I'm so sick of it. It's frustrating. I'm mad at them before, and the season hasn't even started yet. We're 8 days away from this. I'm pretty mad. And guess what? I'm going to talk about it again next week because I'm going to be probably more mad as I look at the schedule. I'm going to be getting my hands together, like rubbing it. But yeah, so I guess maybe next week I'll debut the Mets Minute. We'll see as like a little preview for what's to come. But man, I mean, the next one will fully come around in 2 weeks, 2 episodes. So we'll see what happens. Man, I'm just frustrated by the paywall already.
Yeah, I hate that too. I'm a big soccer fan, so I try to watch a lot, or as much as I can, every Manchester United game. They had a good thing going with the Premier League and NBC, so I was able to watch. Manchester United is also a huge team globally, so most of their games, if they're playing someone, maybe not the bottom 5 in the league. If they're playing, they're probably going to be on, the main channel, 590 on Verizon, whatever it is on anything else. But, now, yeah, they're still with NBC, but they have Peacock now. The last 2 seasons, Peacock. I'm probably dropped 50% of watching, Manchester United games because they're not on NBC anymore. I'm not paying for Peacock. Same thing, it was the PLL. We're also with Peacock. I watched the first game of the season with a couple of my friends that I played with. One of us got the free trial. We just watched the game.
That's what you got to do.
Watch a single game.
You got to rotate through the free trials. You get the free trial this week. I got the free trial next week. Yeah, I mean, I did the same thing with the wrestling Olympic trials were on Peacock a few years ago, and it's just like I burned my trial then. But yeah, I mean, I'm just the only reason that you would have Peacock is that if you're like obsessed with The Office and you're so devastated that they're not on Netflix anymore, then that's your show that you watch to go to sleep. Like, I mean, obviously The Office is a great show. Don't get me wrong, but
I agree with that.
Oh, side note before we get to the top 5s, who was wrong, Will Smith or Chris Rock?
Honestly, after looking more into it,
well, fake or real?
Definitely real.
Okay, good.
I felt the emotion from the Japanese stream of when Will Smith finally got back to his seat. But, I have to say, Chris Rock, you're a comedian, very famous, but like going after, like a disease that someone has in Jada Smith, I think it's alopecia.
Alopecia.
I don't know. It's a little messed up, but is it messed up enough? Will and Jada, very weird relationship.
That's an
Jada
understatement.
is just kind of like swept Will Smith on the floor like a mop for the last year and a half, 2 years.
Embarrassed him on national TV time after time. Like, got these, what is it called? The red table, round table. Like, do all these. Yeah, I mean, the best part about that was like Will Smith at first laughed.
Yes.
He giggled, and then he looked over, and his wife was not laughing. And then, like, I feel like there's such a big, like, change of emotion to be like, I'm laughing now, and, like, I look at my wife, oh, she's pissed. Now I have to go run up to the stage to hit her. Like, the thing about being, a host of those, like, types of, like, obviously crazy popular and streamed events is, like, everyone gets made fun of. No one's safe, Comedians do it, too. Like, crowd work is a thing. Like, I saw DeStefano a few weeks ago, and he was just, like, ripping on people in the crowd, and that's just how comedy works. But, I mean, Will Smith, like, dude, you have literally, like, infinite money. You're making movie after movie. He got the Best Actor award for, a few minutes later. Just, like, take a joke. His wife, though, is the one who really should be at blame for this because if she didn't get all pissy, he wouldn't have walked up there. It was just funny. Like, yeah, I mean.
Definitely an interesting scene. Waking up the next morning. I'm not watching, what is it, the Oscars?
Yeah, I wasn't watching either, but, like, listen, my mom, I live at home. My mom was like, oh, my God, what was that? She's like, was that real? She's like, Adam, was that real? And I'm, like, going back and forth. I was like, I don't know. Like, seemed kind of staged to me at first. Because the broadcast we had in the States, like, they blurred out the Will Smith thing. Like, we didn't hear, like, him scream at the top of his lungs, like, keep my wife's name out your lips, expletive somewhere mixed up in there. But then, like, you immediately go on social media and you get all the clips, like the real ones, like the unedited ones. Like, it was crazy. I mean, Chris Rock was definitely, like, rattled, too. Like, he was like, Will Smith just slapped me. Like, yeah, dude. I don't know. It's a no-win situation for anyone, but, like, just Will Smith going up there and just, like, I feel like he made it so much worse by going up there and hitting him, like making it like a big deal. Like, I get like the whole idea of like stand up for your girl or stand up for your partner or whatever it is, but like, dude, you were laughing 30 seconds ago. Like, it was funny. Whether it was funny or not, like, you thought it was funny because you laughed. And then you can't just be like, oh, now it's all of a sudden I'm so mad I gotta go run out there and slap Chris Rock, like the host of the show on every broadcast in the world. Yeah.
Yeah, the one thing I was talking about with a couple of my friends was, the time, him laughing, looking over at Jada, seeing her facial expression. Whatever she said to him, we don't know. She must have said something, maybe a face. The amount of time that it took him to get from where he was, first of all, to the stage, then up on the stage, and Chris Rock is all the way in the back of the stage, walks all the way across. Chris Rock has, like, what is this guy coming to do? What could he possibly be doing?
Yeah, but it's not like he's gonna run.
Slapped in the face.
Yeah, it's not like he can run away or anything. But like, yeah, I mean, like that. Like, first of all, you said that. That's like a long walk. Like, Will Smith must have been thinking the entire time, like, damn, I don't want to do this. Damn, I don't want to do this. Damn, I don't want to do this. Like, Jada, why are you making me do this? Like, Jada, why couldn't you just laugh at the joke? Like, I don't know. No one's safe at these types of situations. It was just like one of those like funny things, and not really. Listen, not really that funny. I don't think Will Smith will ever get another award probably now because
he's probably not going.
He's a loose
be in
cannon.
any movies or anything now.
He'll get movies still, but he's not getting like he's not gonna get. Maybe he'll get nominated, but those academies are so like stuck up and like prissy and like privileged, where like like he embarrassed us. Like meanwhile, the biggest ratings boost you guys probably got in
Years.
A decade. Like no one in my generation watches that stuff. Like you said, you were watching someone else or you're sleeping. Like I was like watching a Twitch stream or something. Like no one watches the Oscars. Like I don't know, just an overall like funny situation.
Yeah, Twitter was absolutely blowing up.
Twitter was great for like an hour, and then it turned into like the typical like everyone's got like a political super serious opinion on it. Like it's like, dude, it was just like a funny moment, unless you're Chris Rock or Will Smith. Like, yeah, I don't even want to say poor Jada because she probably started it all. Like, the first clip of like Will Smith laughing, and then like it pans out a little bit, and then you see Jada, she's not laughing, she's shaking her head, and it's like, I don't know, it's like that long walk. Like, what do you think Chris was going through Chris Rock's head, like as Will Smith was like walking up to the stage?
Like, honestly, like what is he doing? Is he coming to like talk to me? I feel like the last thing in my head if I was Chris Rock is this man is about to come up here and slap me in the face.
Yeah.
Like maybe he wants to have a talk. I'll mute my mic real quick, do something, but just crazy. Like he had all that time going up there, and he not once was he. Maybe I shouldn't do this. But that's just absolutely crazy. I mean, the memes are still popping out. I'm trying to stay off of the like. Really serious political stuff.
Oh, dude, you can't avoid it if you're on Twitter anymore. You can't avoid it. Like, you have to start, like, we have to start, like, muting or blocking words, so you just can't, like, yeah. Twitter used to be so much fun. Now it's just, like.
It's a little too much.
Yeah.
I definitely feel that.
I feel like we're getting a little bit better, though. Like, it was we were at a point, like, 2016 to 2020 where it was just, like, and you couldn't have any fun on social media at all because it was, everything was about this, that, like. But I don't know. Maybe we're coming back a little bit.
Hopefully.
I doubt it.
All right, so as always, we have our top 5 of the week.
Top five.
First, me and Adam, brainstorming our top 5 every week, usually about Wednesday nights.
We had such a good one last week. It was we were struggling to follow it up because last week was so good. Like, come on, everyone wants to talk about partying, spring break, the whole nine. Now,
we were trying to do New York championship moments. But in our lifetimes, I've probably seen Yankees win, Giants twice. Other than that, nothing to speak of.
Boring.
So, we went from, a little New York championship to just overall championship moments, just to get a couple more in there.
Matt texted me last night, and he was like, let's do, like, New York championship moments. I was like, I thought about it all night, and I was like, I can't think of one. Like, I can't think of one, like, notable New York championship moment. Like, obviously, we have number one on the list, and that would have been that would have been one if we were doing New York or championship moments. We'll get to that in a little bit, but it's just like nothing's memorable. Like when I'm thinking of championship moments, I'm thinking of like so many other sports, so many other teams, so many other players. Just like
nothing in
New York. We suck.
Well, just one, but
we suck.
Yeah, really awful. So let's kick it off. Number 5. This was going to be in my New York moments too. Rangers 1994. Mark Messier, the captain, brought here to win us a cup, first in 50 years, says guarantees a win in Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals against a New Jersey Devils team that was absurd at the time, with Marty Brodeur back there, one of the best goalies of all time. I hate him, but you got to respect game.
Marty.
Messier, not that kind of leader where he's going to come out in the public and say, I'm guaranteeing a win. Man really showed up that night, scored a hat trick with his third being an empty netter. Just really came out there for his team, kept the Rangers alive in the series. And then we have our Game 7 moment. Stefan Matteau, winning it, sending the Rangers to the Cup. And, good series against Vancouver. Watched it 1,000 times, but, nothing's ever going to be as memorable as Mark Messier coming out front page of the New York Post. We will advance to Game 7. We will win this game. Just absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and that call you said at the end, Matteau. That's obviously a super, super famous Rangers call. My dad will still say it every now and then. Yeah, I didn't know that he guaranteed a win, but this this goes into the bigger point. Is we're talking about stuff that happened before our lifetime. Come on, Rangers. Come on, Mets. Come on, Yankees. Come on, Jets. Come on, Giants. We'll get to it. All right, number 4 for me. Actually, both my moments that I put into this happen to be in the same year. 2016, Rajay Davis, Cleveland, now the Guardians. They were a different team name back then. Hits a 2-run home run in the bottom of the 8th to tie the game up. Game 7, the Cubs and the Guardians were going for the. I have to say the Indians. It was from 2016. It was before they got canceled. They had the 2 longest World Series droughts ever. The Cubs, obviously, probably the more famous one. It was the year they won, but Aroldis Chapman's arguably one of the best closers in baseball, or he was up in that point. He was part of a huge deadline deal to go to the Cubs. Rajay Davis smokes a line drive, barely gets over the wall in left field. It's just such a memorable home run. They obviously end up losing to the Cubs in extra innings after a gigantic rain delay. It's another memorable championship moment, not necessarily a sports moment, but yeah, I mean, just crazy. I mean, Rajay was a beast. Chapman was a beast, and Rajay just hit that ball out. Probably arguably one of the biggest stages. That was probably one of the most watched World Series, just because of the history that was going down and the sequences. Game 7, it was so intense. So that's definitely one of my moments.
So top 3 going outside the United States for this one, the only one in the list. I have my Manchester United Red Devils 1999 Champions League. Absurd. I know you probably have no idea what I'm talking about.
Not a clue.
So Bayern Munich, one of the best teams in Germany. Both teams, there's something in soccer, it's called the treble. It's winning your domestic league, domestic cup, and the European Cup, which is the Champions League. So Bayern Munich and Manchester United both have won the cup and the league that year, and are going into the Champions League final against each other. Either one of these teams is going to be the 4th team ever to record a treble. And Bayern Munich playing in Munich. I think it was in Munich. Right? Yeah. No. In Barcelona. But Bayern Munich jumps out to a 1-0 lead 6 minutes in. Mario Basler scores a goal. And Manchester United were flat the rest of the game. Comes into stoppage time, 90th minute for soccer. They add in extra time at the end of the game. In the 90th plus 1 minute, Ryan Giggs takes a shot off a corner. Looks like a weak shot. Teddy Sheringham. It looked like a hockey goal. Get the puck towards the net. Get a little deflection on it. Ball goes in. 1-1 at that point. 20 seconds later, Manchester United comes down for another corner, and in the 93rd minute, wins the game by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, former manager of United, but comes down in the 93rd minute to win the European Cup, secure Manchester United's first ever treble. Just absurd. I wasn't alive for that, obviously, but, I started watching soccer in 2014. This is just, it's just a huge moment. I watch it and I get goosebumps, but just absolutely absurd to win, probably, other than the World Cup, I'd say one of the most coveted trophies in soccer. And, yeah, it was just absolutely crazy. If you've never watched that, I would highly recommend it. It's 2 minutes at the end of the game. You definitely find a clip of it. But just absolutely absurd.
I got one quick thing before I move on the list. I don't understand why soccer doesn't just stop the clock. Like, there is no logic behind giving me extra time. Like, I don't understand. Just, like, stop the clock, the ball goes out of bounds, throw it back in. Like, what's the point of – there's no one in the stadium that can be a clock operator and just stop. Like, every other sport's got it. Like, why can't soccer do it?
I definitely agree with it. But it does make the end of the game kind of more exciting. I feel like they never get the time right anyway.
Exactly. Like, it would be equally as exciting if there were, all right, there's actually 5 minutes left in the game, not like, all right, we're in the 89th minute, and then we have God knows how long of stoppage time. Like, yeah, and then, like, there's stoppage time inside stoppage time. Just, like, I don't understand. Like, I feel like that's so much more complicated than just stopping the clock. Sorry.
I definitely agree, though.
My number 2 moment, and, also from 2016, North Carolina versus Villanova, the NCAA championship game. North Carolina was down 3. This guy, I drew a blank on his name, made one of the craziest, like, he jumped, adjusted his shot midair, makes a 3 from, like, probably, like 5 feet outside the 3-point line, ties the game up. Then Chris Jenkins inbounds the ball under the hoop. They dribble up, give it back to him at half court, just sinks a half court shot to win the game. It was just an incredible shot. A little side note on this from me personally. I had Villanova winning my bracket that year. It was the first year I ever entered it. Of course, I've never come close since. I'm not a big college hoops guy, but if you get a chance to make a bracket, you make a bracket, of course. I won like $500 on it. Probably it could be this is a toss up in how you view it. Probably got me into sports gambling a little bit too. I'm temporarily retired, so it's all good from that. But just like overall, like back and forth, competing threes to in a championship game, awesome game. I think it was Chris Jenkins. I think that was his name. Definitely Jenkins' his last name. Number 2 on Nova, just in crazy shot. He knew it right away too. He was felt good out of his hand. It's an incredible moment. If you got a second, you should look that up.
Yeah, definitely. I'm also not a big college hoops guy, but never seen it. My dad, I probably have seen it and just don't.
You've definitely seen it, and just don't know that it's what that specifically was about.
Yeah, definitely gotta take a look for that. But now on to the number 1 spot.
This was easy number 1. This was both of our number 1s. It's just an incredible moment. So I'll let you talk about it.
So, back then, 2007. Just to give you the year, a little preview. Not a huge football guy, but my dad being a huge Giants fan, all of his friends, I wanted to be that little sucker who was just like, "Yo, Patriots go!" Only kid, in Staten Island, New York, only kid in the class who wanted the Patriots to win. It must have been 2nd grade at that point. My teacher did a little tally the day of or the Friday before.
Definitely the only one
in
your Staten Island class.
The only guy, but watching that game, you know what? Honestly, I probably watched like the first half. I was 7 years old. Mom was like bedtime.
Of course.
Oh. But waking up the next morning, looking at my Twitter, just talking to my dad.
Twitter in 07. you listen. I respect your parents for making you a diehard sports fan. If you weren't able to watch the game, but you had a Twitter in 2007, there were some problems.
Nah, jokes.
But
absolutely crazy catch, David Tyree. I guess that was definitely in the 4th quarter. Coming down last drive, makes a catch off of his helmet. Watching videos of that, it's just like absurd how he even put the ball on his helmet, let alone catch the ball after it's on his helmet. Just absurd, beating Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. That Patriots team was 18-0 at the time. About to be history in the making. Patriots are up however much, but I guess less than a touchdown. But, clutch man, Eli Manning, coming back, getting the game-winning drive, all thanks to David Tyree.
The crazy thing about that play, that specific play, the Tyree helmet catch, was that Manning should have been sacked 4 times in that play. He kept evading people, kept getting away, just chucks up a prayer, and obviously Tyree makes the incredible catch that is probably one of the most famous players in the NFL, at least in the last 20 years it is. But just like, and then Eli Manning ultimately gets the MVP for that game. I think he got like a pickup truck for it. But man, that he don't care about that. He just cares about, and we'll probably talk about this often. It's not the last time I'll say it, but like the funniest thing that like the one like Achilles heel to Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time, is Eli Manning, the most average quarterback of all time. Like dude literally finished with a 500 record, but just knows how to win Super Bowls. So craziness.
Absolutely wild. Wish I was able to stay up watch that game. Not a huge Giants fan. Did watch the one in 2012 though. Watched that all the way through. But yeah, that's just crazy. And that wraps up our top 5 championship moments. And it's just about wrapping up our show today. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to the AM CMSV show. Episode 7 next week, 12 o'clock sharp.
Opening day.
That's going to be a good one. A little preview. Have, as Adam was saying before, bringing on my roommate, the Mr. Sawyer Davis.
Dude,
goalie for CMSV lacrosse.
I can't wait to pick apart a goalie's brain. Like, dude, why are you a psychopath? That's gonna be my first question for him. I'm writing it down now. Like, how did you become a psychopath?
That's gonna be a great show. Sawyer's also a huge Rangers fan, so gonna have some hot takes for our Rangers Rant next week. Hopefully, we get a little Mets minute.
Mount minute.
We'll have a little preview of the season. I'll take a look into the Yankees. Have a little play off of the Mets. But once again, thank you everyone for tuning in. Hope you guys have a good week, and we will see you later.
See you soon. Peace.